every year since its return to volleyball. And, they've fallen short in the past couple seasons, but this year they'll be looking to make some noise here, especially since they will have home court advantage here at the Stroh Center with the crowd still trickling in, and it's a pretty decent crowd here for a Thursday night, Zach.
Yeah, a lot of orange speckled in the crowd. The thing that the Falcons have working for them is, as you mentioned, it's home field advantage, home court advantage, rather, I should say. They have it tonight, and if they win tonight, they will host TCU tomorrow night here at the Stroh, which is pretty big going into a tournament setting. You mentioned Central Michigan, one of the other teams from the Mid-American Conference in this NIVC. They aren't hosting. It's very good to be hosting right now, and especially after that loss. Losses during big games really can hurt, whether it's a rival or whether it's a championship game. It's going to hurt, and it's going to be important for these Falcons just to get that bad taste out of their mouth.
Yeah, for Central Michigan, you mentioned it. You mentioned they drew a tough one with South Dakota. In South Dakota, they've got to travel a long way, and then, of course, playing this 27-2 South Dakota team. And boy, oh boy, that is going to be a tough one for them. But the Falcons, of course, here at the Stroh Center, yes, they're hosting, but Purdue Fort Wayne is going to be a tough matchup for them as well. And, I mean, there's just so much you could talk about this. Both sides, both rosters, both teams have coming in with a lot of high hopes. Both teams are one of the best when it comes to their conferences. Again, the Falcons under Danielle Tomich have constantly been in the conversation for the past few seasons now as far as Mid-American Conference Championship and regular season championship. Purdue Fort Wayne, much of the same under Steve Florio in his 6th season, looking to take control in that Summit League, trying to find those victories. Fell short this year, but they could very well come up and rise again. We will step aside. When we come back, we will have the starting lineups as well as the first serve. You're listening to BGSU Volleyball here on Falcon Radio and watching it on YouTube Live in partnership with WBGU-TV. In Bowling Green, Ohio, the site for today's NIVC first round matchup between the Bowling Green State University Falcons and the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. Donovan Mann and Zach Smith bringing you all the exciting action here for this one as the Stroh Center gets loud here for their Falcons. I guess we'll just have to step aside here. I guess they will be doing a national anthem for this second one as well. So we'll step aside for the national anthem, be right back. All right, welcome back out to the Stroh Center. Sorry, I got thrown for a curveball there. Normally when they do 2 games in one day, they only do the national anthem for the first game, but I guess we're feeling extra patriotic today, a little extra American today. Nothing wrong with that. As I said, I'm Donovan Mann and Zach Smith bringing you all the exciting action here for this one here as we get ready for this one, as we get ready to go. Let's get you those starting lineups. First for the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne.
For those visiting Mastodons, coached by Steve Florio in his 6th season, first of all is Rachel Crucis, number 1, the freshman libero from Brunswick, Ohio. Joining her, number 6, the sophomore setter from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Madison Gates. Number 8, Elizabeth First, the outside hitter, the senior from Arlington Heights, Illinois, will be getting the start. Number 9, Katie Crow, as we mentioned, big power hitter for these Mastodons, the outside hitter junior from Leo, Indiana. Number 10, Zandra Huvals, the mid-blocker senior, standing at 6 feet tall from Rhein, Germany, will also be out there. Number 11, Sydney Schiller, the outside offensive hitter, 6 feet tall freshman from Battle Creek, Michigan. And finally, Sydney Board, the middle blocker junior, will be out there from Sylvania, Ohio. And now the lights go out and the Falcons will take the court.
And the Mastodons are coached by Steve Florio in his 6th season, joined there by assistant coach Jasmine Fulov and graduate assistant coach Mitch Baumgartner. And then for your Bowling Green State University Falcons here, it is going to look like this. Defensive specialist Kirsty Shaw will be getting the nod here today from Brazil, Indiana. Joined out there by Lambertville, Michigan native setter, senior 5'10" Isabel Marciniak. It'll be Nicolia Katnich getting the nod here at middle blocker today. Number 14 from Belgrade, Serbia. She stands at 6 foot tall. She is a sophomore. Then it will be Katie Kidwell, number 17, and middle blocking junior, standing at 6 foot tall from Wasikia, Illinois, and outside hitter Jacqueline Askin, the 6'1" junior from Louisville, Kentucky. And then your libero for the Falcons today, as always, will be Julia Walls, 5'2" sophomore from Brooklyn, Ohio.
Big game for both teams. It is a win or go home scenario. just like the MAC championship, just like every other championship, this is now a tournament/championship scenario. If Bowling Green wins, we will see them tomorrow against the Horned Frogs. If the Mastodons take the victory here at the Stroh Center, TCU will meet them. So scouts will be paying attention to this game. Both teams, a lot to play for.
Yeah, definitely looking over there at that table, the coaches table, and the baseline of the Stroh basketball court. Over to my right, you see 4 scouts there eating their dinner and getting ready to take some notes on both of these squads. And it'll be important for both squads to, show what they got against the other, but they also don't want to show too much. And giving it to TCU is, boy, did you see that throw by Kirsty Shaw? She threw that T-shirt. She has got an arm. Maybe she'll play quarterback for us next year as quarterback Grant Lloyd is transferring out of the program.
Well, some quick little last-minute things going on. Purdue Fort Wayne has lost their last 3 sets. They won the first one versus Denver and then lost the next 3, only getting over 20 points once during that 4th set. For the Falcons, they are coming in having lost only their last set, losing it to Ball State in the 5th set of the MAC championship game.
Yeah, what was a hard-fought match overall between those two. It was a very, very hard-fought match. And the Falcons just fell short in the fifth set.
And that game almost seemed to be that the Falcons were running out of gas. But now the Falcons, after a great Thanksgiving break, after a little bit of time to relax, get some time with their family, get some time to let their bodies rest, they're back, they're ready to go. These Falcons are soaring high in their minds, and I wouldn't want to play them in this type of championship.
I have to apologize. I forgot someone on the Falcons starting lineup. Taylor Haberlin, of course, the defensive specialist, 5'6", redshirt sophomore from Temperance, Michigan, will round out the rest of the squad. I thought I was missing somebody. I just now saw it on the StatCast. My apologies to her and her family if they're viewing. The Falcons, of course, are head coached by Danielle Tomich in her 8th season, and associate head coach Alex Del Piombo and assistant coach Allison Cook. Sorry about that, Zach. I just noticed that I had forgotten Haberlin off the starting lineup.
Oh, no worries at all. Player to watch for this game, if you're looking at the Mastodons, Donovan and I touched on it a little bit. Katie Crow has to be a huge point of emphasis that this team looked at to go into this match. Leads the team in kills at 406, leads their team in aces at 35. Katie Crow's got to be somebody that the Falcons have to be a game plan for.
Yeah, one person I'm going to be looking out for on the Falcons side, it's going to be Isabel Marciniak. How does the senior play here today in what could potentially be her last match of her collegiate career? She has over 1,000 assists on the season. She is second all-time in program history as far as assists in a career, and she made her name for herself defensively as well, blocking and digging. We will see what she can do here. I'm going to keep an eye on her. She's got a very good dump move on the deception as well. Mastodons will get the first serve. It'll be Madison Gates back to serve. The Grand Rapids, Michigan's products put it up and over, and we're underway here to left to right. Marciniak going to go here to Kidwell on the right side, and Kidwell is blocked there by Sydney Schiller and Borst.
Katie Kidwell went for that listing lazily to the right move that she loves to do to go back. Mastodons got a great block on it. Unfortunately, Kirsty Shaw could not get there.
So 1-0 Mastodons, and once again we see Gates serve received by Haberlin. Marciniak going to go left side attack here to Askin, rolls off the block, but it'll be dug out. Here comes the attack now, right side by First. Marciniak setting up Askin in the middle there, dug out. Set up in the middle on the attack, that's Borst. And Askin again on the third touch, sends it up and over. Crucis going on the attack and way too far on that right side on the attack area there. BG gets the side out and the point to tie us up at 1.
Great effort there by Kirsty Shaw and Taylor Haberlin, not being afraid to get on the ground. Kirsty Shaw making 2 great digs just to keep that ball in the air. Falcons get the point.
First was the one committing the attack area there, so she's now got 1 attack error to her name. It's now tied at 1. Free ball here for Kidwell, who finds the back corner on the middle attack there, looking right to her right and finding the back corner there. 2-1, BG now up by 1. Falcons are in their home white jerseys, with libero Julia Walls being in her black jersey. Mastodons are in their gray jerseys with the libero and Crucis being in their white. Here comes the attack over there for First, and actually Schiller goes too far with the attack, and now it's 3-1. Attack errors, that one goes past the back line and out of bounds. So Jacqueline Askin will go back to serve again for the Bowling Green State University Falcons. She puts this one up. It'll get over the net. It's going to be dug out here by Crucis. Here comes the attack in the middle there. She's blocked. It's Boris. And the block works to perfection there as Katie Kidwell rises up and puts Boris's attack back at her.
A couple weeks ago when the Falcons took on Central Michigan, they put on a block party. They did the same against Ball State, but not as heavily, and gets back into the groove here.
Meyer was also credited with a block assist on that one. And here on the attack and tipping it out of bounds was Marciniak after a tip kill there by Boris. That'll be now 4-2. Correction, that was Schiller with the attack and the kill there. Back to serve will be Sydney Schiller from Battle Creek, Michigan. The 6-foot-tall freshman puts this one up. It'll get over, and that's right to left across your listening device. Here comes Meyer on the attack, and then she is blocked, but the block comes right back at, literally right at me here on Media Row, and kind of tipped off my fingers as I just kind of sent that one into the stands. And that'll be 5-2 now. Falcons up to 3, and now here Kidwell puts this one up and over for the service ace as Crucis could not dig that one out.
That was a great serve by Kidwell, just enough to get over the net, and then suddenly just died and fell straight down into the ground. Great job.
6-2, Falcons now up by 4 as Kidwell serves again. Up and over, it's gonna receive there by Schiller. Left side attack here, right side attack correction for first. Dug out on the attack, putting it right back down was Boris. Falcons and now Meyer get an attempt and get a kill. After that was Kirsty Shaw who set up Caitlin Meyer on the left side of the Falcons court and going off of a Mastodon and into the stands to my left here, to my right rather.
Coach Tomich gives a thumbs up to Ika Belly. Made a great dig to keep that ball up.
As we see a couple of Crucis and a couple of other players run into each other. Mastodons get this one over. Shaw once again going here to Meyer. Meyer dug out by Crucis. Here comes the set now, left side attack. That's Crow, and Crow tips it off the Katanich-Marciniak block attempt, and it goes down. So it'll be side out Mastodons. It's now 7-3. Back to serve. It'll be Sydney Boris from Sylvania, Ohio. Relatively local. Probably got some fans here. Marciniak going here to Katanich on the right side. It's going to be dug out by Gates. Set now and blocked on the attack is first. Kept alive by the Mastodons, but only for a moment, and it does fall. And that should be, I believe, yes, Katanich and Meyer over there involved on that block. 8-3. Falcons now up by 5. Kirsty Shaw rotates out as we see Petra and Drova rotate in to play up at the line. It's going to be dug out now, right side attack, and way too far goes Elizabeth First.
Yeah.
And another attack error there for the Mastodons. They are hitting in the negatives at -231. Timeout, Steve Florio and the Mastodons, as he is not happy with what his squad has been putting out there. Again, hitting -231 at 2 kills, 5 errors on 13 attempts.
And typically you can see teams get through those bad hitting nights. Like I compare it to a good hitting baseball team. Typically you can get out of those bad hitting games when your pitcher's throwing a lot of strikeouts and keeping the other team off the board. But Purdue isn't really doing that. They're hitting not so well, as mentioned, -231 hitting percentage. But at the same time, they're also committing errors with 5 errors. So you're not getting the backup you need on the defensive end, and your offensive end just isn't showing it yet. You have to clean that up.
I was curious as to where you were going with that, with like a bad hitting night backing up, or like a bad hitting night being backed up by pitching. I was wondering where you were going to go with that, like what was backing up the bad hitting night here, but let's see where you were going with that now. Great analogy.
Thank you. It's with pitchers, it's all about defense. They're the primary response to defense, although fielders are right there for baseball teams. But for volleyball teams, volleyball being one of those true team sports, Purdue can't be committing the errors on both ends, and they have to really clean that up. And I'm sure that's what Coach Florio was over there telling those Mastodons.
Yeah, volleyball is not like basketball. You can't just give the rock to Kobe and let Kobe go to work, especially not later years Kobe. Back to serve, Isabel Marciniak, serving left to right across your radio dial. This is going to be received here by Schiller. Kept in play and then just put over there by Hovels. Here comes the setup from Meyer. Left side attack dug out by Crucis. Play going to be punched over here now by Crow. Free ball. Walls has to dig it out. It's going to go right back at the net, and it's sent under the net there by Isabel Marciniak. Side out Mastodons.
Not the cleanest of digs there by Julia Walls. gets off the front part of the fist that she makes when she goes to bump that ball back up, and unfortunately goes right into the net where Isabel Marciniak can't make a play.
Just kind of a busted play there, too, for the Falcons. Looked like it should have been a free ball as Walls receives this one. Marciniak in the middle here to Katnich off of the block, and it goes down on the Mastodon side, the left side of their court. And now BG gets the side out. It'll be now 10-4 as Nicolia Katnich gets her first kill.
Katnich, more so known for her blocking ability, gets up there, makes a great play on the offensive end, proves why she got the start here tonight.
Taylor Haberlin will go back to serve, left to right, received there by Crucis. Here comes the set on the left side attack. On the attack was Crow, and Crow could not get it even over the net. It wasn't blocked, so a fourth touch is committed here by the Mastodons. Point BG, they now lead 11-4 here at the Stroh Center. Back to serve, Haberlin again. Up and over, will be received by Crucis, kind of low. Here comes the set now on the attack. That's Crow, and Crow will get the kill as this one is tooled off a block, and it'll be a side out for the Mastodons. That one finds its way out of bounds on the Falcons' left side of their court. And so Katie Crow, who just got that kill, will go back to serve. Crow with 3 kills on the night already. And Crow from Leo, Indiana. Outside hitter puts it up and over, received by Walls. Marciniak gonna go here to Indrova, tipped off a block. Crucis keeps it alive on a first touch, but nobody's able to get to that one as she didn't get enough air under it and it continued to go backwards. Petra Indrova with kill number 1 on the night for her on her first attempt. Julia Walls back to serve as Petra Indrova rotates out, and rotating in was Katie Kidwell. This one's gonna be received here by Schiller. Here comes the setup on that far side. On the attack was Worcester rather. She kept it alive after she was blocked. And now free play for the Falcons as Walls, Marciniak over to the left side. That was Meyer, no good. On the attack rather, it was Askins on the left side, and now the Falcons blocked once again. It goes down. That'll be now 12-6 as the Mastodons get themselves a side out and a kill from Madeline Worcester.
Yeah, great run down there by Crucis, keeping that ball alive for the Mastodons. Just to keep their team in the play there, you got to give a lot of credit to players when they chase down the ball as it's falling out of bounds.
Indrova tipped off the block, and nobody could get to it for the Mastodons, so Petra Indrova get her second kill on as many attempts.
And Petra Indrova has a lot of velocity when she comes off her hand with the kills. Led her team in kills before coming off of an injury earlier in the season, comes back and just adds another spark. A great freshman pickup for this Falcons team.
Kirsty Shaw serves this one up and over. It's going to be received there by Crow. Here comes the setup now. Left side attack for Schuller. And off of a Falcon player and into the stands. Almost hitting Freddie right in his beak.
Local celebrity Freddie Falcon.
Hanging out over there in the pseudo student section after the real student section got closed up so they could have scouting tables over there along the baseline. That'll now make it 13-7. Falcons up by 6, and serving here for the Mastodons is Gates, received by Haberlin in the back line. Here comes the setup now for Marciniak to Askins, and Askins is blocked and then eventually finds its way to the court after a couple of touches. 13-8. Falcons still up here by 5. That's another block there for Borst and First. This one's going to be a float shorting serve there by Gates, but Shaw chases it down. Now Kidwell gets set up. Gates digs that one out. Now Gates on the attack, dug out by Shaw. Marciniak setting up Askin. Askin blocked, and down it goes again. It's First and Boris again.
And that's what the Mastodons needed to do. They needed to clean up their hitting percentage and clean up the errors a little bit, not trying to commit as many. Falcons have committed 2 more errors since that last time out.
13-9 your score as this one served up and over. Walls. Marciniak now to Kidwell. Kidwell just finds the back line, just gets it on that line, and side out BG as it's now 14-9. Falcons will send Jacqueline Askin back to serve.
Also stops a 3-0 run there by Purdue.
Caitlin Meyer will rotate in to play up the line in place of Taylor Haberlin. This one going to be dug out low, put right back down after the dig on the overpass. Goes to Katie Kidwell, and Katie Kidwell just says, get that weak stuff out of here.
It almost seemed like the ball just floated in the air for a minute as the Mastodons were able to get that ball back up, just floated right above the net, and Katie Kidwell just sends it back into the ground.
Askin serves again. It's received here by Schiller. Here comes the setup now for Gates. Gates dug out by Shaw. Marciniak jousting at the net. Not really, though, as this one just goes right back over and put right down. I believe that was either Gates or Borst. And now a side out for the Mastodons is 15-10, and it was actually Elizabeth First who put that one down for the kill. For First, that's her first. She's also got 3 attack errors, though, hitting negative 222. Shaw receives the serve. Here comes the setup for Kidwell. Kidwell tipped off the block, kept alive there off the heads-up dig by Schiller, and put right back down as Meyer gets this one, kind of had a missed timer jump, dug out there by Ikebelli on the heads-up play. Once again, Meyer dug out. Set up on the right side there for Gates. Gates, or no, rather First, put back up and over, and now goes down as we see a couple of Mastodons run into each other. And oh, we've got a Mastodon slow to get up, and it looks like might be First. Actually, no, that's Gates. Slow to get up, but she does get up as she collided with one of her teammates.
Official's going to take a look at her, just make sure she's okay. Often with those types of plays, you want to make sure no concussions or bleeding or anything like that.
Bad shoulder torque, too, because that's really what I'm concerned about. The way she landed, though, kind of like her wrist kind of got bent down maybe. She is okay, though. They also wanted to make sure the sweat was also wiped up as well. Here comes the setup on the attack for Crow, and Crow goes too far on the attack error there. Now it's 17-10 after it hit the line judge's leg.
Yeah, I wonder if that one was out. Goes off of the official's leg.
Seen quite a few of those in the past couple of matches. As we see Kidwell serve this one up and over. It's a bad receive, but Crow keeps it in play. Right side attack there for, that was First. Now Katnich in the middle, dug out there by Gates. Again, it's First, dug out by Ikebelli on the left side. Dump move there, deception move, somehow kept alive, and then no, it doesn't. After the third touch doesn't get over the net, and a frustrated fourth touch is bumped over there by Boris. And timeout, Mastodons, their second here in set one as it's 18-10. Falcons on another run, and that's another kill for Marciniak, who's 2 for 2 on her kills and attempts.
Yeah, Isabel Marciniak's dump move is just so hard to figure out, as it could just be an assist, as she is the assist leader for this Falcon squad. And those dump moves and assists look so similar. Ball State has been the only real team that at least I've seen that have really been able to figure out that dump move when they figured it out in the MAC championship game. And so far, the 2 that she's tried here tonight have gone successful for her.
I'd say Ball State definitely did a good job of defending it in the tournament game, I think even Central Michigan caught on to it. They just didn't catch on to it at time, but certainly other teams have really struggled with figuring it out when she's going to go to it. It's almost like I think when Ball State Central do it, they're more of just basically every time she gets that close to the net and gets ready to set, they're just going to send somebody to jump up and try to block it. And it's been really working for them. But here today, the Mastodons have not had an answer to that one, as Marciniak has made it work twice to go along with her 6 assists and 1 dig. Meanwhile, looking at some other stats, Kidwell with 3 kills on 6 attempts with 1 error, hitting .333 as well. And the other side, Katie Crow with 3 kills, 2 errors, 5 attempts, hitting .200. She leads that category for them outside of Worcester, who's only got 1 kill on 2 attempts with hitting .500. Meanwhile, for the Falcons, they've also got 2 team blocks, rather. Mastodons have 3, so both teams pulling up the blocks already.
But the Falcons have the only ace in the game, hitting at a .292 hitting percentage with 3 errors, so the Falcons playing clean.
This one's going to be received here by Schiller off a Kidwell serve and then set up there for First. On the attack, now Meyer, left side. She's blocked, dug out there by Kidwell on the slide. Once again, Meyer left side, over the block this time, dug out there by Schiller, and the dig sends it into the bench of the Mastodons. Point BGSU, and now it's 19-10. Falcons up by 9 and continuing to roll. Kidwell back to serve again. Meyer with her kill there. It's her 3rd of the match. As this one's going to be received kind of awkwardly and is a service ace, I think. Either it'll be a service ace or an attack error. Technically, the 3rd touch did send it over the pin, though. We'll see if they credit Kidwell. Yes, they do credit Kidwell with the ace on that one. So that's the Falcons' 2nd service ace as she serves again. Received there by Schiller. Much better this time. Set up for Crow. Crow tipped off a Shaw and out of bounds. Past the back line towards the Falcon bench. Purdue Fort Wayne gets a much-needed side out. It's 20-11. Serving this one up and over is Boris, received by Icabelli. Marciniak going left side to Meyer. Meyer off of Schiller, and Crow unable to try to dig that one outside out. BG 21-11, Bowling Green.
And that's what makes Meyer so dangerous, is she can either have the velocity on her kills, or it can just be nice and soft, and you never really know. So you have to designate 2 players to go up and be ready to defend it soft and keep one back, and if it's just too much, the player in the back stands no chance.
And here's another service ace for the Falcons, and this time it is for Isabel Marciniak. (22-11) now, Falcons up, and Marciniak serves again. This time it's received by Crow. The setup on that side on the attack, it's first. She's blocked, kept alive by the Mastodons. Left side attack now for Gates, Crow rather, no good. And Drova goes on the right side attack here, and a blocking violation committed by the Mastodons. Gives the points another Falcons, gives Petra and Drova another point. That's her 3rd kill on as many attempts. This one will be put up right and over. It's going to be received by Gates. Set up now for first. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak going to go on the middle there. Attack. It's Katnich, and they do rule a tip, so Katnich will get herself another kill. Nicolia Katnich working some offense here early in the middle. It's now 24-11. It is set point for the Falcons, and they have had a dominant set 1. As Marciniak up and over. Received low by Crow, but it is kept alive. Put up and over. Icabelli receives. Marciniak in the middle for Katnich. Goes with the one hand. No good. Dug out by Gates. Left side attack for Crow. Dug out by Marciniak. Goes right back over. Crucis gets the touch, and now on the attack there. It's first. Kept alive by Icabelli. Meyer on the attack. Just a little bit too far. Boy, that one did not miss that right back corner of the Mastodons by much, Zach.
No, and no disappointment out of that coaching staff. All coaches Tomic, Del Piumbo, and Cook, and even Caitlin Shortridge over there, the SID, just all operations director, all smiling, just thought it was in there. And then a service error gives the point right back to give the set to the Falcons 25-12.
Yeah, Maddie Nell came in as a late set substitution there, gets a chance to serve, and she puts it right into the net. 25-12, the Falcons take set 1 here in a dominant fashion. They've got to keep it up, though, because Fort Wayne is no pushover of a team. They will come back, and they will fight hard with trunks and tusks to try to get back into this one.
I suppose so, yes, as they are Mastodons after all. It'll be tough. It's going to be a tough hill to climb, but the first thing that they got to do is clean up those errors. 7 errors in this first set to just 4 by the Falcons. And as I mentioned, the Falcons were hitting .323, so although they were making those little errors, they were able to clean that up with their hitting percentage being where it was. On the other side, the Mastodons were hitting at a .028, which is not the best, and you had 7 errors to boot with it. You cannot expect to win these types of sets if you're committing those errors and your offense is struggling.
All right, with that, we will step aside. This is NIVC Volleyball.
And welcome back to the Stroh Center here in Bowling Green, Ohio. We are in the NIVC tournament set number 2. The Falcons ran away with set number 1 over the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons 25-12. Zach Smith, I'm joined by Donovan Mann for some extra postseason volleyball. 2 11-5 teams in their conference in the tournament. Resetting the lineups a little bit for you. For the Falcons, Katie Kidwell's out there, joined by Isabel Marciniak, Caitlin Meyer, Julia Walls, Paulina Icabelli, Kirsty Shaw, and Nicolia Katanich are out there for the Falcons. And then for the Mastodons, Crucis is out there, the libero, joined alongside Zandra Hoovels, as well as Madeline Worster, Sydney Schiller, Maddie Nell, Katie Crow. Those are the lineups.
Yeah, speaking though of Maddie Nell, one thing I liked, she came in for that one serve and served it right into the net. Katie Crow went right over to her during this one and say, hey, shake that off. They still got to win 2 more sets. So let's go try win 3 before they do that.
Paulina Icabelli sends up and over. And just like the first set, it ends up with a Mastodon point off of a nice little tip there by number 10, Hoovels. It will be point for the Mastodons, 1-0. Back there to serve is Katie Crow, serving from left to right across your listening device, up and over, dug out by Shaw, up by Marciniak. And Katie Kidwell sends it down into the ground to get the point back.
Yeah, Katie Kidwell is really finding her offense. I mentioned it in pregame. She's really just finding her offense over the past few months. Doing a great job there now with her 4th kill. That is a match-tying high.
And now Katie Kidwell will serve up and over, dug out by Crow. Sent up and over by Worster, dug out. Caitlin Meyer will try her own. And sent back over for a free ball by the Mastodons. Set up by Nell. Nell gets it to Schiller, sends it over, saved by Icabelli. Yet again, but dug out by Kidwell. Meyer sets up for Kirsty Shaw, who sends it over for a free ball, dug out by Crow. Set up tip drill there by number 11, Schiller. Sent over, Meyer sends it over, blocked the net. Katanich to Meyer again, and across court gets it in, just in front of the libero Crucis. And another long rally gets a point for the Falcons.
Yeah, really great job there by the Falcons with some heads up. And I was watching Katie Kidwell that whole time. She's kind of like on that point. She was kind of crunched up at the net after she got the dig. Did a good job of not going under the net, because if she goes under and under the net, that's a point for the Mastodons.
Set up by Marciniak, sent over by Meyer. And they're going to rule it in bounds. Either that or off of a tip by Katie Crow, who is the nearest Mastodon in the area. Caitlin Meyer now gets her 6th kill on the match. Kidwell sends up and over, dug out by Crucis. Set up by the Mastodons to Schiller, blocked at the net, saved and sent over for a free ball. Kirsty Shaw to Marciniak. Meyer again, tip drill. It is blocked, but it will fall straight down into the ground. 3-2. Julia Walls will check in for Katie Kidwell. Back to serve is Rachel Crucis, the libero freshman from Brunswick, Ohio. Crucis sends up and over, dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak sets up for Meyer, but just a little too strong. But they're going to rule a tip, point for the Falcons. Substitution coming in for the Falcons, Petra Androva for Kirsty Shaw. Androva so far hitting a perfect game, 3 for 3 with 1 dig. Marciniak sends up, over, dug out cleanly. Set up by Nell, and Schiller will just send it over for a free ball. And on that kill attempt, dug out there by Katie Crow, sails out of bounds. Point for the Falcons.
Hey, I wonder where this Nicolia Katanich has been all season long. She's kind of gotten spot moments here and there. She started and not played in others, and boy, she's coming really strong offensively today.
Good dig by Walls. Marciniak sends it back into play. Katanich will just send it over for a free ball. Crucis sets up for Madeline Worster, dug out by Walls. Set up for Meyer again. Meyer cannot be stopped. Gets right between Crow and Crucis on that back line towards the back left and gets the point for the Falcons.
And all that point happened because of the great diving stop there. The great diving save by Julia Walls and the chase down by Marciniak, so they had a free play, and they were able to come back on the next one and get that point.
Marciniak's serve just goes straight out of bounds. No chance to get in. Point for the Mastodons. Going to get a side out for the Mastodons. Back there to serve is Madison Gates. Saw her take a tumble earlier. Glad she's okay. Gates will serve from left to right. Serves with the right hand. Dug out by Icabelli. Set up for Marciniak. And Drova into the net. Point for the Mastodons. 6-4. Mastodons currently hitting at a 100 hitting percentage, already with one block in the match. Gates sends up and over again for Walls. Marciniak sets up for Androva. That one's tipped to the net, sent up to Gates. To Crucis. Tipped over by number 8, Elizabeth First. Saved by the Falcons and Katnich. Crucis sets up for Crow. Crow's kill goes into the net for an error. Side out for the Falcons as Haberlin and Jacqueline Askin will come in favor of Caitlin Meyer and Paulina Icabelli.
Yeah, Crow has been very underwhelming here in this one. She's, came in with over 400 kills on the season, but now she's got 4 kills, 3 errors though in this one. And so defensively too, she's not looked her best. Kind of looks slow a little bit to the punch.
Haberlin sends up and over, dug out by Crow. Send up to Gates, and that hit is going to go inbounds. Credit the point to Elizabeth First. Gets just in front of Taylor Haberland of the Falcons for a point for the Mastodons.
Beautiful placement there by First, coming out on that one, going off cross court with it, finding just inbounds area right where Haberland couldn't get to it.
Sydney Schiller's serve is to Haberland, goes into the net, and I believe it'll be a service ace.
Yeah, they'll rule that Isabel Marciniak went under the net on that save attempt, and yeah, she did. She crossed that line, and can't do that.
Schiller to Walls and sent right back over there by, I believe, Crow. Point for the Mastodons, and we are all tied up at 7.
Yeah, Mastodons, we knew this. They weren't going to take that first set blowout loss as the rule. They were going to take that as the exception. This one was going to be a lot closer than that first set showed.
Haberlin gets a kill off of what would have been an out-of-bounds ball, in my opinion. Crucis just keeps it alive, and it just sails out of bounds at that point. Good job by the Falcons. They'll credit that one actually to Jacqueline Askin. Julia Walls, the libero, will now serve. Back in her black jersey, sends up and over. And she's going to get the service ace. Just dips right on top of the net and into the ground right in front of Sydney Bohr. Point for the Falcons.
Yeah, beautifully placed there, ball there by Julia Walls, as that one cannot be dug out there by the defender on the receiving end.
Walls right back to Schiller. Dug out and another tip drill. Walls sets up for Askin. Askin right to Crucis. Joust at the net. Katie Kidwell keeps it alive. Set up for Marciniak. Askin with a tip. Dug out by Gates. Set up by Crucis. Blocked at the net by Askin and Kidwell, but it goes out of bounds. 9-8 in favor of your Bowling Green Falcons. Back there to serve now for the Mastodons is Sydney Bohr, the middle blocker from Sylvania, Ohio. Sends up, over, dug out by Haberlin. Marciniak sets up for Kidwell on the tip. Saved there by number 8, Elizabeth First, sent over. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak up, Askin with her kill attempt. Dug out, set up for Crow. Crow right off of Marciniak. Great play by Askin to keep that ball alive and sent over for a free ball. That one blocked to the net. Julia Walls running and diving. Tries to keep it up in the air, but no good. We are tied at 9, third tie of this second set.
Apparently there's some sort they're holding an elephant. I was like, I thought that was a plush dog over there, but I guess that's part of their celebration is they hoist the Mastodon of plushiness.
Sydney Bohr gets it to Haberlin. Askin with her kill attempt. Just too strong. Backed over for a free ball. Marciniak sets up for Androva this time, and there will be no saving that one. Sydney Schiller has to go to her knees just to try to keep that one alive, but no good. Androva's going to get the point. Side out for the Falcons as Kirsty Shaw will rotate into serve.
Yeah, great placement there and great power by Petra Androva. No real chance for the defender there to try to dig that one out cleanly.
Kirsty Shaw sent up over, dug out by Crucis. Sent over by First, dug out by Walls. Askin with her kill attempt saved by Crucis. Gates on her tip drill. Little resemblance of Isabel Marciniak's. Goes right into the ground. We are tied again. Overall, great job here by the Mastodons, limiting those errors. Only one error, hitting at a 238% right now. To go along with 6 kills. Nell, will serve up and over. Haberlin, Katie Kidwell on the kill attempt, blocked at the net. Nell, blocked at the net. That was Madeline Worster trying to get it over, blocked though, and point for the Falcons.
Yeah, great job there by Kidwell, and I believe it was also Marciniak in on that one, getting up, rising up, blocking it back, saying no, not in our house, and moving on, getting the point, getting the side out. It was Jacqueline Askin and Katie Kidwell getting those blocks. A really good tandem here. The juniors have developed well together.
Askin sends up and over, dug out by Crucis. Crow is gonna get the kill as it bounced off of Kirsty Shaw and about 6-7 rows up over there on the far side. And it's gonna be a tie game yet again. Purdue has not led since that 1-0 lead to start off sets 1 and 2. Crow up and over, dug out by Walls. Marciniak sets over for Kidwell. Katie Kidwell, her listing to the right is just such a dynamic move and gives the point to the Falcons.
Yeah, she comes up there from the middle, then goes out to the side, puts enough power on it, though, to Crow cross court. It's a move she's been developing over her time here, and offensively, it's really starting to work from her now.
Kidwell, 2 serves, sends up and over, dug out by Schiller. Kill attempt blocked to the net. Ika Belly keeps it alive. Kirsty Shaw has to send it over for a free ball, dug out by Crow. Another tip drill by Zandra Huvals. Whistle will blow, point for BG on an error.
Yeah, it looks like I think one of the Mastodons went under the net on that attempt there. Yeah, Huvals went under the net, so Falcons get a free one there.
Kidwell up, over, and they're going to rule it out. I thought that touched the line. We will see no contest by Coach Tomich. I definitely thought that was on the line, but doesn't matter. Service error, and Rachel Crucis will go back to serve for the Mastodons. Sends up and over, and that one's going to go out. So back-to-back service errors gives the Falcons back the ball. Side out for the Falcons. Petra Androva, one of these great freshmen for the Falcons, will trot on in. And Isabel Marciniak, the senior, back there to serve. Up, over, and she almost got a service ace. Great job by the Mastodons to keep it alive. Petra Androva blocked. It's kept alive for a moment by Crow to keep it alive. Crow slow to get up.
Yeah, it looked like she rolled over on her elbow. She is still holding that left arm very tenderly and rolled over on it kind of awkwardly. And oh, I hope she's okay because she is such a talented player, and you would hate to see her leave on this one, still. Katie, hate to see it. Maybe she just rolled over on her funny bone, but the way she's holding that left arm is not looking good.
Yeah, Katie Crow down there was making the roll just to keep that ball alive, took the right fist and just tried to punch it back up, but unfortunately fell right on it, put the wrist into the ground. As she walked off, she was stretching out that right arm. She's over there on the bench, stretching it out now. And again, we hope for the best for Katie Crow. It doesn't look like she's in any pain, but we will certainly see as a timeout was taken on the floor. 15-12 in favor of the Bowling Green Falcons. Leading all scores right now is Caitlin Meyer with 8 kills on 18 attempts, hitting at a .333 percentage. Right behind her is Katie Crow. She's got 6 kills on 16 attempts, hitting at .188.
Yeah, you take a look at these stats, but beyond the stats, Falcons have just continued to play a much better match, I think, than the Mastodons right now. This second set, though, the Mastodons have definitely shown what we were expecting from them, a much more competed moment. I think they maybe came out a little bit too hyper in that first set, rather, kind of missing with their balls, kind of a little bit too much energy at times. That committed those 7 errors, but this one, they're much better, much cleaner with hitting 160. Unfortunately for them, they're still well under hitting the Falcons, who are still continuing to hit above 300, hitting 333 in this one, 10 kills, 2 errors. So the Falcons have continued to work their game plan to perfection, but the Mastodons are definitely getting a lot closer.
Marciniak's serve is up and over. Kill attempt there by Sydney Bohr is just a little too strong, sails out of bounds. Point for the Falcons, 16-12. Marciniak from the top right corner sends up and over. Dugout, kind of awkwardly, Katie Crow tried to get in there, didn't listen to the coverage, but regardless sent over. Petra Androva's tip kill is good, shows her softer side, which is very rare of her to do, as Petra Androva has a lot of velocity, but that soft touch, point for the Falcons.
Petra Androva, as a freshman, she combines you get this very rare mixture with her from a freshman of power, accuracy, but she can still take a lot off of it, and it fools you when it happens.
That kill attempt is successful from the Mastodons, and Madeline Worster gets off of the hand of Paulina Icabelli, sails out of bounds. 17-13 as Madison Gates will rotate back to serve for the Mastodons. Over there dribbling a little bit from the free throw line, sends up and over, dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak keeps it alive for Meyer, blocked at the net, but kept alive by Gates. Crucis sets up, blocked at the net, and Androva just has to punch it up to keep the ball in the air. Meyer again. Crucis keeps it alive. Gates sent over, blocked at the net. Elizabeth first, yet again on the tip drill, just gets over the hands of it. Looks to be Nikolia Katanic, and it will be point for the Mastodons.
That was some really good play there by the Mastodons, doing a really, really good job of keeping up with it. They were blocked a couple times, they got it over a couple times, but a really good play there by them to keep at it and finally get that point.
Marciniak sets up for Meyer, blocked at the net and falls out of bounds on the far side of the court. Side out for the Falcons, 18-14, as we're going to see Haberland and Askin check back in for Icabelli and Caitlin Meyer. Haberland will go back to serve from the bottom left corner towards the back of the free throw line. Haberland sends up, over. Good serve, gets right off of Sydney Schiller's arms and sent over by First. Nikolia Katanic. Donovan mentioned it a little earlier. Where was this side of Katanic during the season? Showed little flashes, but Katanic is really coming out tonight. 5 kills now, and we're going to go ahead and see a timeout get called by Purdue Fort Wayne as they are down 19-14.
Yeah, it's their first one of this timeout, and, it's because I think, you're taking a look at Steve Florio is really starting to see the writing on the wall that the Falcons are kind of starting to pull away, really starting to press forward, and he maybe just needs to cut the momentum, just needs to slow it down a little, get things back in perspective, say, hey, we had things that were working for us, but now they are really, really struggling, and Falcons are continuing to press offensively and press hard.
And the Falcons are really just playing well right now, as Donovan mentioned, hitting at a 379 clip right now, 2 errors on the match, already with 4 service aces to go along with 3 blocks. On the other side, Purdue Fort Wayne has 4 errors, 9 kills, hitting at a .088 right now. In the set, though, they are hitting at a 156 with 1 ace and 4 total blocks.
Both teams taking the court now here, and this I think is a very crucial moment for Purdue Fort Wayne here in this one. They really, if they're gonna come back in this one, try to force it at 1-1 as opposed to going down 2-9. They've got to find a run right here and now before the Falcons hit the red zone.
And
it's going to help with that service error.
Taylor Haberlin serves right into the net there. Tried to go for that direct line drive serve just to get it just over the net, but unfortunately gets into the net. Back there to serve is going to be Julia Ware. Serves up and over, dug out by Walls. Marciniak is going to set it up for Askin. Askin tipped at the net, kept alive by Ware. Gates over for Crow, blocked at the net by Nikolia Katanic.
I think it was Nikolia Katanic and Petra Androva. A couple of the Falcons international players are combining on that block right there, doing a really good job of getting up and sending it back.
Falcons win the battle to the red zone, 20-15 in favor of the Falcons. Walls up, over, dug out by Ware. Gates sets up, and just like earlier, goes off of the line judge's leg. And it's going to be a point for the Falcons, as yet again the Falcons are starting to pull away here in set number 2. Julia Walls, the libero, sends up and over, gets up off of the net, saved by the Mastodons, and tip kill by first is unsuccessful. Askin's going to try, though, with the hard stuff, but sails out of bounds. Point for the Mastodons and side out as Crucis will head to the bench. Going over to serve is number 13, Sydney Bohr. Bohr from the top left sends up over, dug out by Haberland. And Katie Kidwell's going to get an opportunity just off of the hands of Julia Ware in the back part of the box. Point for the Falcons, 3 points away from a set 2 victory. Crucis will come back in. Kirsty Shaw from Brazil, Indiana will go back to serve. Kirsty Shaw has made some great defensive plays this year. Kirsty Shaw up, over, dug out by Ware. Gates sets up for first, and too strong, but they're gonna rule that it went on the line.
Yeah, it just found its way inbounds, just got on the line right there. And again, Purdue Fort Wayne just trying to keep themselves in this, trying to keep themselves within striking distance, but it's, you know, running a little bit out of time for them. They've got to find that run here soon if they're going to get back in this second set.
Maddie Nell up and over, dug out by Haberland. Katie Kidwell's going to get another kill on the board. Gets right in front of the Macedon defender, looked to be number 9, Katie Crow, who is still in this game. And it's going to be point for the Falcons, 23-17, 6-point game. Going to serve is Jacqueline Askin from the near right corner, serving right to left across your listening device. Askin up, over, dug out by Crow, set up by Nell, and it's gonna just survive. Sandra Huvals just gets it over the net, hits it a block, but goes straight down. 23-18, side out for the Mastodons. And for the Falcons, it kind of seems like they're okay with trading points at this point.
Yeah, I mean, with them being up by 5, up by 6, it's still going to get them the set victory. You just don't want to let Purdue go on the run and get some momentum.
Katie Crow with the service error, and the Falcons get out of the way of it, and we're going to see for the second time a dramatic set point in favor of the Falcons. Back there yet again is Katie Kidwell as Freddie Falcon over here trying to help Donovan and I anchor this, or broadcast this game, is up trying to get the fans on their feet. Mastodons get an error, and it's going to be point and set for the Falcons on an attack error by Madeline Wurster, the right setter. And it's going to be 25-18 final. Falcons are going to go up 2-0 over Purdue as we head into a little bit of a break here in the Women's NIVC National Invitational Volleyball Championship. You are listening to Women's Volleyball here on Falcon Radio and the live stream presented by WBGU. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Bowling Green, Ohio. It is the NIVC round 1. And it is the second of 2 games that are occurring here in this first round in the Stroh Center. Again, tomorrow there will be round 2 action here at the Stroh Center. We'll have that right here on the YouTube Live WBGU stream, as well as potentially, if the Falcons hold on to win this one, we'll have it right here on Falcon Radio as well. It is Donovan Mann and Zach Smith bringing you all the action again. The Falcons currently lead 2-0 over the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. And the winner will get the Texas Christian University Horned Frogs tomorrow. That'll be a 7 p.m. first serve. And Zach, you know, that second set was a lot closer than the first set, but still Purdue Fort Wayne just seems to be a little bit behind the Falcons as far as their, I don't want to say their effort, but their play right now just seems a little bit behind the Falcons.
Yeah, and it looks more so like they're just hurting themselves yet again. During that beginning portion of the second set, Purdue Fort Wayne was really playing right there with the Falcons. As noted on the score sheet, 5 tie changes throughout that first set until Bowling Green finally pulled away. And it's because they cleaned up the errors. Only, I believe, like 2 or 3 errors to go up for most of that set. And then it just stumbled out of control. And we made the analogy of offense can be bad as long as defense is okay. And so far, the errors and this hitting percentage are really hurting the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. 14 errors combined, along with .068 hitting percentage, as opposed to the Falcons, who are hitting with 7 errors and hitting a .344 percentage.
As we see this one dug out and received by Walls, here comes Kidwell on the attack, and it's celebration by the Falcons, but it's premature, as the Falcons have to get back here on defense as Purdue kept that alive. Here comes Jesse Holly on the left side attack, checking in for the first time here in this one. And then on the attack, they do rule that a Falcon apparently tipped it now. Marciniak gets up, tries to block it, and Maddie Nell digs it out, and then after a couple of touches, it goes under the net, and BG gets the point. As it's 1-0. Falcons get the first point there and the side out as Jesse Holly goes back to serve, getting a bit of action here in this one. Jesse Holly, left to right, she serves, up and over. It's received there by Crucis. Here comes the setup, left side attack there for Crow, dug out by Walls on the back line. Marciniak, one-handed dump move, gets the kill. And now for Isabel Marciniak, she's got 3 kills on as many attempts, hitting a perfect 1,000.
And now the thing that has to be wary of for Purdue Fort Wayne is, and Coach Steve Florio, is you don't necessarily want to fall behind too much. It's a must-win set.
And there was a lazy tip that ends up getting a point for the the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons, as that one just lazily goes over the net and lands as the Falcons had nobody backing up the block. Back to serve will be Crow. Katie Crow puts it up and over, received there by Shaw on the back line. Marciniak going left side here to Meyer, rather. And then it's off of Crucis and into the scouting tables.
And one of those scouts over there is most likely from TCU.
I guess based off the purple.
Yeah, I just naturally assumed. You could tell also because that's going to be who the winner of this match plays tomorrow.
3-1 now, BGSU over Purdue Fort Wayne. As this one's sent up and over, it's received there by Crucis. Right side attack there for Worcester, and off of Icabelli and into the stands it goes. Side out, Purdue Fort Wayne. 3-2. Falcons still up by 1. Back to serve Rachel Crucis from Brunswick, Ohio, to the Brunswick High School. As she gives this one over to Walls. Now the attack here from Katnich on the right side is going to be dug out by Crow. Set up right side attack now here for, that is Madeline Worcester, and she will get the kill, the right side hitter. And that's going to tie us up at 3 here in set 3. Falcons leading 2-0. A little bit more here on Rachel Cruiser. She's a 2-time Defensive Player of the Week in the Summit League. She's also the Summit League Honorable Mention and Summit League All-Freshman team. On the attack there, it was blocked. Diving save there by Meyer, and then Icabelli sends it over for the free ball. Receive here now, right side attack once again for Worcester. Worcester once again gets this one, and that'll be now a 4-3 lead here in the third set for the Mastodons. Worcester with now 3 straight kills. Just was on up and over here again by Crusoe. Here comes setup from Meyer. Meyer on the attack, goes a little bit too far, going cross court left to right. And that's another point for the Mastodons. They now lead 5-3. Back to serve, Cruces again. Puts this one up and over. Received there by Katnich. Jousting at the net, won by Marciniak, and it'll fall. Isabel Marciniak rose up, went on the joust, and ended up winning. And it's now 5-4. As Isabel Marciniak now gets her 4th kill on 4 attempts.
And this is big for the Falcons to get back on here. Service error by Marciniak. But if you're Purdue Fort Wayne, you really want to keep this run going. The third set is always the biggest set for a team down 2-0, as in terms of sets, as they are playing for the game at that point, and you typically see a lot more aggressiveness out of that bottom team.
Madison Gate now serves right to left. Received there by Icabelli low, and it'll be a service ace there for Gates. As that one falls off of Icabelli, and right here in front of me in media row, it hits off the front. 7-4 now, Mastodons up by 3. Madison Gates gets the Mastodons' 2nd service ace. This one's going to be dug out and received now. Icabelli has to send it over for the free ball. Received there by Crow. Set up now, right side attack. That is first, and first is going to be blocked by a pair of Falcons, and that'll be a Falcon point and a side out for the Falcons, as it's now 7-5. And on that block was Katnich and Meyer for the Falcons. 7-5, and Taylor Haberlin goes back to serve, as Jesse Holly also rotates into play up at the line. This one's going to be received here now by Schiller. Set up left side attack, that's first. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak now going to set up and drove on the right side attack. Dug out by Cruces, punched over on the free ball. As Haberlin now Walls keeps it up, and Holly somehow gets it over for the free play. Heads up play. Falcons scrambling back defensively. Middle attack there by Boris. Going to be put right back down, and Indrova can't get down in time to dig it out.
You gotta love that effort between Haberlin and Julia Walls. Running over there towards the side, I thought originally it was just a little bit of miscommunication between the two, but Walls with a great heads-up play keeps the ball alive.
Schiller serves this one up and over. Walls receives. Here comes Indrova on the right side. Gets the point right back after the block goes out of bounds. The block there by the Mastodons is not successful, so Petra Indrova gets kill number 7 on 10 attempts with 1 error, hitting 600. And 8-6, Falcons still trailing by 2 as Julia Walls goes back to serve. She puts this one up and over. It's received by Schilling kind of badly, but Cruces gets it back in play, so the attack can be done on that right side, and the kill will fall, as Walls was kind of slow getting down to try to dig that one out. Sydney Borist will go back to serve. Again, right to left, the Mastodons serve in their gray jerseys, and this one's going to go right smack dab in the middle of the net. Side out BG on the service error.
Almost pegged Crow on the back of her head, but some sort of spidey sense got out of the way.
I'm sure she felt the breeze off of that. Back to serve. Kirsty Shaw from Brazil, Indiana. She attended Northview High School during her prep days. Sends this one up and gets the service ace. That'll be the 5th service ace by the Falcons. And for Kirsty Shaw, that'll be her first one on the match. She'll go back to serve again. Kirsty Shaw with 8 digs on the night as well to go along with an assist. Now trying to get the Falcons back tied. She puts this one up and over. It's going to be received there by Crow. Set up there in the middle on the attack. That is Crow. And Crow finds it inbounds. Side out Mastodons. It's now 10-8 and Purdue Fort Wayne make a substitution here as Maddie Nell checks in to serve. Freshman from Haskins, Ohio, attending Otsego High School. And we've got a little bit of delay in action here as the second official's talking with the official scorers over there and say, okay, now let's serve. 10-8 your score here as Nell serves this one up and over as Walls. Marciniak now gets this one over to Kidwell. Kidwell goes cross court with no tip. It goes out of bounds. That'll now be 11-8. Falcons trailing by 3 here as the Mastodons go back to serve with Nell again. She puts this one up and over. It'll be received there by Haberlin. Now Kidwell on the attempt. No good. Here comes the setup now for Crow. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak left side there for Holly, and Holly tips it off the block and it falls. As that'll now be 11-9. Falcons get the side out. Jesse Holly gets the kill. And back to serve will be Jesse Holly. Jesse Holly now with 1 kill on 2 attempts, hitting 500. She'll go back to serve. She puts this one up. It'll get over. It'll be received there by Crucis kind of awkwardly, but Nell will get it in play. Here comes the attempt by Crow. Back on the Falcons side, back on the Mastodon side, rather. Crow puts it over again. Walls. Marciniak going in system now, left side to Meyer. Dug out there by Kidwell on the diving attempt, and now Marciniak puts it over for the free ball. And free ball turns into free point as that one goes too far, and the Mastodons let it go.
Marciniak, little too hard trying to get that ball just to be framed on the line. Instead, puts a little too much power on it, goes out of bounds.
Katie Crow will go back to serve. 2019 All-League Select, All-Summit League selection. As we now have another delay in action here on the serve.
Coach Tomic giving a couple words over there to that far official. A little curious what's going on. No timeouts or challenges.
12 to 9 is here. I almost wonder if they're asking who's it supposed to be on the rotation. Perhaps they thought it wasn't rotated properly, but it is going to be a Crow serve. Again, we've seen that before here at the Stroh Center where Miami made a mistake in the serving rotation and they accidentally served Morgan Seaman twice in a row despite side outs occurring. Back to serve now here, up and over, that is Crow. It's gonna be received by Shaw, back line, Meyer keeping it in play, so Marciniak can put it over for the free ball. It'll be dug out. The attack now here in the middle, that's by Huvels, dug out. Marciniak, or by Walls rather, than Icabelli chases it down, and now it's a 4-point match for the Mastodons. Timeout, BG, 13-9, the Mastodons leading here in set 3, but they are trailing 2 sets to none to the Bowling Green State University Falcons, but boy, the Mastodons looking a lot better here in this one.
Also, a lot of silly mistakes by the Falcons. It was a great timeout here by Coach Tomic on back-to-back plays, and we've seen it a little bit tonight of just miscommunication between teammates. Caitlin Meyer going to go try to get that ball, but Icabelli was right there too. You don't hear a lot of vocal leadership between any of these teammates calling for the ball. And a little while earlier, Taylor Haverland and Julia Walls running towards the bench, towards the same ball. This is probably just a timeout of saying, hey, we need to communicate a little better, or else Purdue Fort Wayne is going to get right back into this game.
Yeah, you'd love to see them into the sweep, but again, they do have that 2-0 lead to kind of work with. And, the Mastodons, they're going to be preaching probably the 1 point at a time. Before you can get the run, you got to get a point. Before you can get to set 5, you got to get to set 4, 1 point at a time message, right?
I would suppose. Quick scoring update. The other Mid-American Conference team in this tournament right now, Central Michigan, is up 1-0 against the University of South Dakota. However, they are trailing in the second set right now, 8-3 in South Dakota. So a little bit of a road trip for the Chippewas of Central Michigan.
The other Mid-American Conference team remaining after Miami got eliminated at 5 by the TCU Horned Frogs in what was a very hard fought match by both sides, and really both teams had to work for that one, and TCU really had to fight to try to win that one after they were trailing multiple times and came back multiple times. Crow serves again, received there by Icabelli cleanly. Marciniak, right side attack here to Kidwell, and Kidwell off a Nell and into the stands. Side out BG, they're back within 3 now. As it's 13-10, they get to double digits.
And this is now where Coach Florio has to be wary. After a timeout, Coach Tomic is really good at making adjustments. So now it's going to be important to stay vigilant and foot on the gas.
Right side attack there on the attack. That is Madeline Worcester, and Worcester gets the kill. And a side out Mastodons, 14-10 as Kidwell rotates out so Julia Walls can rotate in, and rotating back to serve for the Mastodons is Rachel Crucis. She puts this one up and over, received by Shaw, low, but Marciniak's able to get it to Meyer, left side attack, off of Crucis, and past my head here on media row and into the stands. Officially, they're gonna say it actually went across the pin, cross on the backside of the pin before it heads out of bounds. Either way, Falcons get a point, 14-11, as Marciniak goes back to serve. Up and over, received by Crucis, kind of low, but it's kept alive there by Nell. On the attack, that's Schiller. Dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak, right side for Ndrova. Ndrova tipped to the net. Dug out there by Worcester. Set up in the middle there on the attack, and coming down with it is Boris, and Walls unable to get down and get it in time for the dig. So that'll be a side out Mastodons. 4-point lead Mastodons. It's 15 rather to 11 as Boris gets the kill. And for Boris, that is her second kill. She's still hitting negative though with 3 errors. This one's gonna be sent up and over. It's received there by Icabelli now in Drova on the attack, dug out by Crow along the back line on the dive. Here comes Schiller, dug out by Marciniak. Walls, right side attack here for Indrova. Blocked at the net, and it goes under. In on the block there, that looked like it was Boris alongside Schiller. Now it's a 5-point lead rather for the Mastodons, 16-11.
And the Falcons, 4 errors so far on the set to just 1 by the Mastodons.
This one's received by Icabelli by Gates. Marciniak gonna go here to Indrova, Katnich. I don't even know if she got a hand on that one, but it went over. Now it's gonna be Meyer with the tip. We dug out. Cruces has to dig it out though on the second one as well. Here comes the attack by Schiller, and they're gonna say a tip by the Falcons, as I believe Julia Walls tried to dig that one out and ended up just making it go even further out of bounds. I think it was gonna go too far. And timeout Falcons as they now trail by 6 here in set 3.
Yeah, just curious play. In my opinion, I didn't think it was tipped. I didn't think Julia Walls got a hand on it, maybe at the net somewhere. So I originally thought that this was just going to be a challenge by Coach Tomich, but nothing. And perhaps it's just Coach Tomich saying, just let's stay in it. Let's try to just keep our balance on this, but we want to come back on it. But on the other end, you got to clean up the errors. 4 errors again by the Falcons, just 1 by Purdue Fort Wayne. And just as much as when your defense isn't playing well and your offense isn't playing well, when your offense and defense are both playing well, you're a tough team to beat. And right now, Purdue Fort Wayne hitting at 400, 1 ace, 1 block, 1 error, and 11 kills. Just playing really well here in this third set.
Yeah, it's the biggest change for me for the Mastodons is that they've only committed 1 error to the, in their first 2 sets, they had 7 apiece in each set. So they're definitely, hitting 400, doing a lot better, I think, in that category, Zach.
Yeah, and in the block category, everything is really knotted up. The Falcons with Katie Kidwell, Isabel Marciniak, Jessie Holly, all these players that can get up there and make those blocks, they're almost being shut out right now. And Caitlin Meyer especially is getting shut out, not really doing as much here in this third set as she has been in the first 2.
So back to serve once again, it will be Madison Gates. Madison Gates, back in 2017 when she was in high school, she was Michigan Miss Volleyball finalist. She had 4 leathers. Her father played Major League Baseball for 7 years. This one's going to be received by Cruces here on the attack attempt on that left side. Now comes the attack for Schiller. Dug out by Walls. Marciniak going to the middle here to Katnich. Hits it right into the net with no touch. And that will be a 4th attempt touch there by the Falcons. It's now 18-11. As Madison Gates goes back to serve, her brother was also drafted in the NHL back in 2015 by the Anaheim Ducks. Fun facts about Madison Gates as she serves, received by Icabelli. Now left side attack there. It's Myers. She's blocked, and it falls. After Walls' initial touch there on that left side goes out of bounds, and now it's 19-11. And continuing to attack here are the Mastodons, getting closer and closer to forcing that 4th set. Falcons lead 2-0. Gates again. And this one, a low blooper right into the pin. Didn't even get across the net before going out of bounds. Jacqueline Askin will rotate in here. Jessie Holly will rotate in as Taylor Haberlin also rotates in. As we see Haberlin serve, received by Cruces. Here comes a right side attack there for Schiller, dug out by Walls. Now left side for Holly, dug out by Cruces. The attack here, into the net it goes. I don't know if Katnich got a hand on it. She was there though to affect the play nonetheless. And now another point for BG. It's 19-13. Falcons back within 6 and Haberlin to serve again. They do not rule a block on that one. Haberlin serves it up and over to Schiller, who receives. Here comes the setup now on the left side. The attack there was by First, but First with the attack error, she goes cross court with it. And another point for the Falcons. They're back within 5. The Mastodons have committed 2 straight attack errors as Haberlin serves it up again. Cruces gets down to dig. Right side attack here by Schiller. Dug out by Haberlin on the dive. Katnich in the middle there, goes too far with it though, trying to find the side. And side out. Mastodons back up by 6, 20-14. They're in the red zone. Back to serve. Sydney Schiller. Puts this one up and over. Received by Haberlin. Marciniak going over here to Indrova. Indrova's blocked. In on that one was Crow as well as Boris for the Mastodons. Schiller goes back to serve again. Last year in 2018, Schiller was named to the all-freshman team for the Summit League. And now we're going to see Petra Androva on a last-second substitution get replaced here by Macy Linney. The redshirt junior, officially, though, listed as a senior as well. She's not going to come back to the program next season. As we see this one on the attack attempt go behind me here as I watch that one and hope it doesn't fall and hit me on the head. And it did not.
Yeah, good call, good call.
21-15, back to serve, Julia Walls. Falcons back within 6. Walls puts this one up, over, and it is a service ace. As Schiller was kind of low getting to it, and another beautifully placed ball there by the libero, Julia Walls. That's going to be her second service ace in this one. Falcons back within 5, 21-16. Walls gets the call, gets this one up and over. It's received this time by Weyer, who just checked in. And now placing this one, blooping it over. Lenny digs it out. Marciniak going to go left side here to Holly. Set up there by Weyer. Here comes a flip over there by Crow. Marciniak again to Holly. Holly tipped to the net, dug out by Crucis. Here comes the setup and punched over there by Crow. Walls setting up Lenny now here. Not a greatly played set there, and Lenny bumps it over for the free play. In the middle on the attack there, it comes first, or rather Boris puts it down for the kill. 22-16, side out for the Mastodons.
And just a broken play there. Julia Walls didn't place the ball where it needed to be, or else Macy Linney and these Falcons keep their foot on the gas.
Boris puts this one up and over, received there by Haberlin. Marciniak going to the middle here to Kidwell. Kidwell dug out by Weyer, and it's going to go right back over, and Lenny tries to put it back down, but she goes too much with it, and that one will go past that back corner there and out of bounds, so the Mastodons get another lead of 6, or rather another lead of 7, and they're 2 points away from forcing a fourth set. Received here by Haberlin Low. Marciniak going to go to Lenny here. Lenny is blocked, and on that one was Hoovels and Crow to block that one away as Lenny. Not a good attack there, and that's her second attack error there. She just came in not that long ago. 24-16, it's now set point Mastodons as we see this one served up and over, received by Haberlin. That was Borst on the serve. Holly goes up with the attack, and it's going to get tipped out of bounds there by Weyer.
And the Falcons right now just trying to make that stat sheet look a little better. If they want to come back, it's still theoretically possible, but you have to play absolutely perfect in this third set.
Weyer deflects that one back out of bounds. Now number 2 for the Falcons, and Kirsty Shaw will go back to serve. Left to right, she puts this one up. It'll get over. It'll be received there by Crow. Kind of low, but this one will get set up on that right side on the attack there by First, and we will be going to a first set after the dig goes past us here on Media Row. And we will see at least 4 now here in this one after the Mastodons down 2-0 in the set count take set 3, 25-17. Okay, I guess we are.
The Stroh Center is
It's a
now
move.
the Stroh Center is where we're at now. Zach Smith joined alongside Donovan Mann here at the Stroh in Bowling Green, Ohio. Ryan Vallon is also here to my left, our live tweeter, the voice of Falcon Hockey.
Yeah, shout out to the voice of Falcon Hockey.
Taking a
doing
break
the
from
grunt
hockey
work.
to come tweet out some volleyball. And what a dandy we've got going on here. The Falcons lead 2-1 over the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons. And Donovan, I guess the big question that I got to ask you is what was so different about those Mastodons between the first and second sets and that third set?
Offensively, they were just so much cleaner. I mean, they had their highest amount of kills, their lowest amount of errors on their fewest amount of attempts with their highest hitting percentage. That is the biggest change on that one. I think it was not a fact of any tweaks they made to their game plan. I think the game plan just started to work, which is really bad news for the Falcons if you're a Falcon fan. Because the Falcons, they had their most amount of errors by far at 10, their fewest amount of kills at 10. They hit 0 in that set on their highest amount of attempts. They didn't have 2 service aces, but part of the reason why the Mastodons were so successful was also, you mentioned, defense as well. 4 total blocks in that one as well. All in all, the Mastodons really just executed so much better in that first set, or that third set rather.
Resetting the lineups here for the Falcons. Out there is Isabel Marciniak, joined with Katie Kidwell, Meyer, Ika Belli, Kirsty Shaw, as well as Julia Walls and Nikolia Katanich. Out there for the Mastodons is Crow. Also out there is Schiller, along with the libero, Crucis, as along with Maddie Nell. Number 10, Zandra Huvals, and I already said number 11, number 14, Madeline Worster is out there. Again, Falcons up 2-1 here at the Stroh Center. The winner of this game will take on the TCU Horned Frogs tomorrow, also here at the Stroh Center. Last minute substitution going to go ahead happen here. Jessie Holly looks to check in for the Falcons. Not making any moves right now. Okay, Nikolia Katanich will not be on the court to start here. Jessie Holly will be in here. She will be serving from right to left across your listening device or watching device if you are watching this on the YouTube live stream. Jessie Holly from the bottom right box serves up and over. Dug out cleanly by the Mastodons, set up and sent down. Katie Kidwell sends down the ball that Katie Crow set up. And point for the Falcons as now consecutively they will lead off the set after the Mastodon started off 1-0 in the first 2. Jessie Holly sends up and over, dug out by Crow. Little tip drill by Huvals and dug out by the Falcons, saved by Crucis. Sent over by Crucis now for a free play, dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Marciniak sets up for Meyer, tipped at the net and down in the bottom left corner. 2-0 for the Falcons.
Yeah, good job there by Meyer, rising up, getting that one perfectly where there was no Mastodon defender. Beautifully placed along the back line.
Jessie Holly to serve yet again. Up, over, dug out by Crow. Crucis sets up again for Crow, so a little bit of passing, but dug out by Shaw on the free ball. Katie Kidwell on that list move sends it over, no tip, and it'll just go beyond that bottom left corner of the box. Point for the Mastodons. Katie Crow back to serve. Side out for the Falcons as Holly will check out and Ika Belli will check in for the Falcons. Katie Crow, 7 kills on 28 attempts, hitting at .071, sends up over, dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Marciniak from Meyer, saved by Crucis to Crow, and sent over for a free ball by Schiller. Dug out by Ika Belli. Marciniak sets up again for Meyer. Crucis saves it again. Meyer down, tipped at the net, and Crow cannot get there. Ball lands down, and again, Crow comes up kind of holding that right arm.
Yeah, but no, what's weird is, though, it was her left arm the first time. Now it is her right arm. Now she's taking them out both. So, boy, she's putting it all on the line, though.
It is a game that one team moves on, the other doesn't. Kidwell serve, dug out by Crow. Set up for Worster, dug out by Ika Belli. Marciniak up and over, tip drill by Meyer, kept alive. Crucis sets up again for Worster, dug out. Set up by Kirsty Shaw for Meyer. Meyer blocked at the net by Worster, and we are going to see a tie game. 3-2. Over to serve is Crucis, the libero. She's a freshman standing at 5'2" from Brunswick, Ohio. Dug out awkwardly by Icabelli, and the freshman will get a service ace, the team's third on the night. Rachel Crucis back to serve yet again from the bottom left portion of the box. Takes a couple dribbles, sends up and over. Dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak sets up. Meyer with the kill attempt is going to go off the hand of Madeline Worster and out of bounds. The Falcons up by 1, 4-3, side out. Petra Androva checks in for Kirsty Shaw as Isabel Marciniak, the senior setter, will go to serve from the top right portion of the box. Marciniak up, over, dug out cleanly, set up for Bohr, and it's going to go down, and Marciniak that time comes up hobbling a little bit.
Yeah, she is favoring that left leg, it appears, but again, she's another player. She won't, unless that leg literally falls off in action, she will not come out. She will play this one through.
Madison Gates, the sophomore from Grand Rapids, Michigan, back there to serve for the Mastodons. Sends up, over, and great dive there by Icabelli to keep it alive. Meyer with the kill, saved by Crucis on her good dive. And sent over for a free ball. Dug out by the Falcons. Tip drill by Marciniak on the deception move. Dug out, blocked at the net, and Katanich keeps it alive. And Gates, will dig it out. Meyer on the kill attempt, dug out by Crucis. Set up by Gates, long side to Schiller, dug out. Marciniak is going to set up for Meyer. Meyer again, dug out by Crow. Gates almost runs into the net, but keeps the ball alive. Marciniak walls to Meyer. Meyer again. Crucis tips it off of her hand. Could not keep the ball in play, and the Falcons win another long rally, 5-4, side out.
Yeah, great little bit there by Falcons, keeping their heads wits about them, doing some good job there, and Crucis not happy with herself on that one. Her initial reaction was, dang it. Now she's kind of trying to laugh it off, but boy, with her first reaction after touching that one was, dang it.
Haberland, ball scrapes the top of the net but goes over. Tip by the Mastodons, kept alive. Kirsty Shaw to Jessie Holly, and it's going to sail out of bounds. Point for the Mastodons. As much as we saw in that second set, both teams keeping it neck and neck. To serve now for the Mastodons is Sydney Schiller. Top left corner of the box, sends up and over, dug out by Walls. Marciniak up to Jessie Holly, tipped at the net off of Elizabeth First and out of bounds. Point for the Falcons. Back there to serve now is the libero of the Falcons, Julia Walls. From the top right corner, up, over, and just a bad dig, but credit Crucis for sticking with it, sent over. Marciniak to Kidwell, that ball's gonna go off of, I believe, Schiller's foot there in the mid portion of the left side. Point for the Falcons regardless, 7-5, as the Falcons look to pull away a little bit. Julia Walls, up, over, dug out cleanly. Set up for Crow, and Crow looked for the half-court shot. Goes out of bounds, but they're going to rule, I believe, a net violation. 7-6 in favor of the Falcons. To serve is Bohr. Bohr up, over, dug out by Walls. Marciniak will set it up for Holly. And Holly a little too much power on it, and it's going to be a tie game.
Again, the Falcons offensively not playing their greatest, committing way too many errors here in this one, and they're unforced errors too. You know, you do not want to give this Mastodons team a chance to see 5 because they will take advantage of it. The Falcons, you need to end it here in 4.
Good save by Haberland. Indrova just sends it over. Dug out cleanly, though, by the Mastodons. Indrova sets up for Marciniak to Holly. Really trying to get Holly involved. Tipped at the net, but kept alive. Crow is going to send it over to Walls. Marciniak up for Kidwell on her list move, and it's going to go out of bounds. Point for the Mastodons. Coach Tomich gets up to go and make a couple of adjustments. But we're going to see Sydney Bohr back to serve again. Bohr up, over, dug out by Haberland. And Drova on the kill that time is going to be successful. Gets it down. And side out for the Falcons, much needed side out, and Drova's going to check out in favor of Kirsty Shaw. Kirsty Shaw back there to serve. Kind of near that free throw box, but towards the top portion of it on the right side. Shaw up over to Crow. Gates to first. Holly, tip drill. Holly keeps it alive. Kidwell just sends it over. Gates to Crow. And it's going to go off of the hands of Kirsty Shaw. Now it's 10-9 in favor of the Mastodons off of a three-point little run here. 9-8, excuse me. Back to serve now is Maddie Nell, the freshman. Nell up over, dug out by Haberland. Marciniak to Kidwell on the list move. Dug out by Nell. Sent over by Worcester, and it's going to be out of bounds. And we've got a tie game all over again. Side out for the Falcons. Meyer will check in favor of Haberland as Jesse Holly will go back to serve. Jesse Holly. Up, over. Dug out by Crow, set up by Nell. And sent over by Hoovels. And it's going to go down as Kirsty Shaw could not get to it. 10-9. Side out, Jesse Holly will check out in favor of Paulina Icabelli. To serve is Katie Crow. Up, over, dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak jousted the net, won by Marciniak for the moment. Tipped at the net, Walls keeps it alive. Marciniak to Kidwell, blocked at the net. Marciniak keeps it alive. Shaw to set up for Meyer. Meyer just gets the ball directly in front of Rachel Crucis, and we are tied again at 10.
Yeah, Falcons doing a really good job of going back and forth right now here with the Mastodons. However, the Mastodons, they are taking advantage of having that 1-point lead, and, you know, you cannot let the Mastodons try to get that little bit of back and forth teeter-totter with you. You've got to try to find a way to get a run on them here if you're the Falcons. Meanwhile, the Mastodons keep pressing up because you're forcing more mistakes than none with the Falcons, although we see the attack error here by the Mastodons giving the Falcons the lead back.
Back there to serve yet again is Katie Kidwell. Katie Kidwell having herself a nice little night. Got 11 kills on 25 attempts, hitting at a 280 clip. Katie Kidwell sends up and over, dug out cleanly, but she's gonna get an ace. A service ace to be exact. That's her third of the night, the Falcons' 7th.
Yeah, Katie Kidwell is having herself a really good match. 11 kills already, 3 service aces, and 2 blocks assists for her as she continues to play well here in all facets of the game.
Kidwell over, dug out by Crucis, blocked to the net by Katnich, sent over. Nell's gonna hold on to it. Another tip. Kidwell dives, keeps it alive. Marciniak to Meyer. Meyer gets it over, dug out by Crow. Whistle blows. Net violation, or 4 touches.
No, it'll be a net violation.
Oh, it's a net violation, my mistake. Hard to read the hand sometimes because sometimes players are in the way. Regardless, 13-10 Falcons. And Kidwell will go back to serve yet again. Katie Kidwell up, over, dug out by Crucis. Nell to Schiller, dug out by Kirsty Shaw. Marciniak to Meyer. Meyer dug out by Crow. Set up by Nell. Tip drill by Worcester. Marciniak's tip kept alive by Crucis. Crow, her own little tip. Paulina Icabelli couldn't get there as finally the Mastodons caught on to the little dump move by Marciniak. 13-11, Bowling Green.
Yeah, that was a very interesting play. I think almost it was like Icabelli mistimed her dive there a little bit on that one because, I mean, she had plenty of time to get to it. I think it's just the way the ball was so slow getting to her, she kind of mistimed her dive.
Meyer on the kill attempt, wants a call of a touch. They're going to give it to her. 14-11. Sydney Schiller, wearing number 11 for the Mastodons, does not agree with that.
And Florio he's asking, did you touch it? Did you touch it? Did you touch it? He might challenge this one here. I think he's also looking at the camera angles that they've got too.
Nothing.
I almost wonder if he's aware that he does have challenge cards. I'm not sure about the league, the Summit League, and if they have challenge ability or not over in the Summit League. I do know all the Mid-American Conference teams have it. I believe Conference USA does not, though, and AAC may not have it either. So I know it is a newer concept only with the past few years is replay volleyball, so not all these leagues have it. And I almost wonder if there it comes.
And there's the challenge.
He took a minute to argue and talk to the official about it before he finally threw it down, but.
Yeah, Coach Steve Florio, again, in his 6th season, arguing a call, and it is a potential 2-point turnaround as it goes suddenly from being 14-11 to potentially 13-12. Now, what he is arguing is a tip off of a hand of one of his players. Again, Schiller couldn't believe the call, but the call was what it is. And unless there's indisputable evidence, the call will stand.
Again, I mentioned it in the first game, and I'll mention it here. These tips are so hard to see sometimes, so subtle in live action. They're definitely hard to see. I didn't think I saw anything. And then, when you get to the replay, sometimes they're so subtle that they, if that finger moves, that finger gets brushed back. You never know.
Go ahead, get you a couple of stats here as the official looks to be done. Caitlin Meyer leads all scorers with 17 kills now. The StatCast is still updating for us as now the team has an opportunity to update it. The point is going to be out of bounds. They're going to overturn the call, so it will be 13-12 in favor of Bowling Green still. 16 kills for Caitlin Meyer. Next closest player is Katie Kidwell with 11. And then, of course, Katie Crow at 9 on the Mastodon sideline. Assists, Isabel Marciniak easily has 38. Next closest is Nell with 15. Back to serve now is Crucis, the libero. Crucis waiting for her team to get set up. We will see a media timeout at 15 points, I believe. Crucis up over. Took out by Icabelli. Meyer gets it. It looked to be on the line, but they're going to call out.
And here comes Danielle Tomic with the green card as well.
Immediate challenge there by Coach Tomic.
She's actually going to argue that there was a blocking violation on there.
It looked, at least from my perspective, that the ball was on the line. Looked to be like it was in. I'm not 100% sure about the blocking. I didn't see that.
They didn't make the signal for inbounds, I thought. They thought they made the signal for some sort of blocking violation. I tell you what, though, she was very quick to get up, too. So whatever she's challenging it, she is 100% sure she should be right. Because, she had no hesitation when she went up and grabbed that green card to put it down for the second official there. And, again, these replays today have been very quick, so I'm very happy about that because nothing kills a mood more than a long replay. And, boy, this one was very quick.
And we'll wait for the call. The thing keeping the Mastodons here in this fourth set is errors. 7 by the Falcons, 3 by the Mastodons. The call is going to be reversed. Point for the Falcons. They will rule the ball was inbounds. So the refs giveth and taketh away from the Falcons. 14-12 is the score. Isabel Marciniak will be back to serve as Shaw rotates out. Marciniak up, over. Dug out there cleanly by Crow. Sent over by Schiller. Saved by Walls. Meyer again. Crucis could not keep the ball straight up. Again, looks like she's hobbling a little bit. And we're going to get a timeout on the court by the officials, not by either team, just to clarify. And two players that I really just want to bring up, Crucis and Crow, have really been all over the court for the Mastodons. Both seem to be limping just a little bit at different portions. That time it was Crucis.
Yeah, and Crucis with her 20 digs, very, very good offensively, or defensively rather. Has got 5 assists to her name as well. Meanwhile, you take a look at Crow's numbers. She's not having her greatest hitting game overall, but she's still leading this team with kills with 9. She's hitting 125. She's having herself a good game too. But you also mentioned the errors by the Falcons. These last 2 sets for the Falcons, they have not been hitting cleanly. They've already got more kills in this set, though, than they did in the third set, which is good. But still, those 6 errors by the Falcons are really hurting them right now. And, again, the Mastodons are playing so much cleaner offensively now. Their kills are missing, but they've still committed fewer errors.
23 errors by the Falcons, just 20 by the Mastodons. Mastodons, though, 37 kills to 50 by the Falcons. So the Falcons offensively are really playing well. But those errors are just really hurting them. Again, you take away those 6 errors, and it's 15-6. So the big swing, Coach Tomic really is going to want to clean those up. Isabel Marciniak back there to serve for the Falcons. Top right corner sends up and over. Dug out awkwardly there by Schiller. It's going to go off her arm. We're going to get a service ace for the Falcons. That is going to be their 8th.
Yeah, and they have really done well. That is always a point of emphasis, is win the serve and pass, and they are definitely winning that category here in this one.
And then the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons, Sydney Borst sends the ball directly into the ground, gets a much-needed side out for these Mastodons. Going back to serve is going to be Madison Gates. Gives Nell and Worcester a minute to breathe. Gates up, over. Dug out by Ecabelli. Marciniak will set up for Meyer. Tipped at the net, but dug out. Jousted the net. Nicolia Katanich just sends it back down into the court. 17-13. Falcons 3 points away from the red zone. Haberland and Holly will check back in for Meyer and Icabelli. Going back to serve is going to be number 19, Taylor Haberland of the Falcons. Serving from the free throw line, sends up and over, dug out cleanly by the Mastodons. Gates, little tip there to Borst, but kept alive. Walls sets up for Holly. Holly tipped at the net, dug out by Crow. Gates gets it to first. And the dig was bad, just kept going back and back and back to where the student section typically is here at the Stroh Center. But with it being a tournament, scouting tables are going to be over there. And it's going to be 17-14 Falcons. To serve, Julia Ware, one of the backup liberos. She's right there.
Oh, okay.
Ware up and over, and it's going to go out. Service error.
Up and over too far.
18-14.
She sent it over there.
Where?
Over there.
Wow.
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 I just hear Owen Wilson in my ear. Julia Walls to serve.
Good
Walls up over, dug out cleanly by Ware. Sent again first, blocked at the net by Kidwell and Holly. Sends it back, 19-14, and the Falcon faithful starting to get a little rowdy here, and Steve Florio is going to call timeout as his team is just slowly deteriorating after a really, really good third set. And then the fourth set just not going the way he needs it to be, even though the Falcons are committing errors.
It's almost like you kind of see that gas meter slowly but surely running on empty. It's, credit the Mastodons for forcing this fourth set. And, Falcons did not play well at all in that third set at all. But right now it is all Falcons here in this fourth set after a back-and-forth display through the middle portion. It really seems here in these late goings. It's going to be all Falcons and talons up for them. But for the Mastodons, they've just got to keep trying, keep fight, keep clawing, keep stomping their way through. It's not over till that final buzzer, till that final match point, but they are running out of time here. They've got to find something because whatever it is that they were doing is not working right now.
19-14 is your score here in the Stroh Center. Again, Falcons up 2-1. A win here in this set for the Falcons sends them against the TCU Horned Frogs, who beat the Miami Redhawks here just a few hours ago. They will be taking them on tomorrow. Again, if the Falcons win, it will be on Falcon Radio, but it will also be on the live stream presented by WBGU. Walls, clean dig by Ware, sent over for a free ball by Crow. Walls over to Holly, dug out by Crucis. Crow is going to try again, but tipped at the net. Marciniak sets up for Kidwell, sends it over. Gates, Crucis. Now to first. And it's going to go out of bounds. Point for the Falcons, first to the red zone, 20-14. Julia Walls, the libero. We're going to get a side out for the Mastodons. Ware is going to check out. She's going to go over there. And now the ball sent up and over by Walls. It's going to be a service ace, the 9th of the match by the Falcons, 21-14.
Yeah, Walls, that'll be service ace number 3 for her as well. She's tied with Katie Kidwell for the match lead in that category.
Julia Walls up, over. Good line drive serve. Crow blocked the net, and Drova keeps it alive. Holly gets it over the net, but unfortunately it's under the net, and it's going to be a point for the Mastodons as they stay in it, 21-15. Crucis checks out. To serve is Borst. from the top left corner, up, over, dug out by Haberland. Marciniak sets up for Androva. Tipped in the net and out of play, 22-15. Coming in now is Kirsty Shaw. Petra Androva will check out. Who knows if it's the last time. She's having a great night. Petra Androva, 8 kills on 16 attempts, hitting at .312. Kirsty Shaw to serve, up, over. Line drive served right to Crow. Gates sets up for first. Walls, good dig. Haberland sets up for Holly. Tip. Gates digs. Crucis first. And Walls can't get to that one. 22-16. It is a 6-point game. Side out for the Mastodons. Going back to serve is Maddie Nell, the freshman from Haskins, Ohio. To serve, up, over, dug out by Haberland, gets in front of Walls. Marciniak to Kidwell, tipped the net. Saved by Schiller, sent down by Worcester, but dug out cleanly. Jesse Holly sends it over, dug out by Nell. And that ball's gonna get just inside. They'll rule it a tip as well, I believe.
Yeah, it wouldn't have mattered because they did rule a Falcon to tip that, but it did definitely land just in bounds in that left, or rather right back corner of the Falcons.
Nell, dug out by Haberland. Walls sets up for Holly. Directly to Schiller. Nell gets it up to Hoovels. Katie Kidwell on the block. Gets it off of the hands of Katie Crow. Directly down, 23-17. To serve, Jesse Holly as Haberland checks out. Meyer came in. Jesse Holly up, over, and too much. 23-18. Winner gets to play TCU. Loser has to go home, unfortunately.
You hate to see it, too.
Yeah, both of these teams playing really well. Give credit to both teams. Crow sends up and over, dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak sets up for Meyer. Meyer tipped at the net. Crow digs out. Nell sets up. Blocked at the net by Meyer. Meyer will send it back. Her hit kill is blocked. Crucis sets up for Worcester. Dug out by Icabelli. Marciniak up to Meyer. Tipped in the net, but Crucis keeps it alive. Nell, tip drill. Icabelli. Marciniak jousted the net, but it is won that time by Sydney Schiller. And all smiles by those teammates. 23-19, but a long way to go.
Yeah, this ain't Monsters, Inc. This is 23-19 volleyball. Yo, BG needs 2 points to get back into this one. And meanwhile, Falcons, or rather BG needs 2 points to win this one. Meanwhile, Mastodons continuing to fight back.
Shaw sends it over for free ball off of a bad dig. Blocked to the net. Katie Kidwell and Isabel Marciniak send it right down into the court. We are at match point in the Stroh, and anybody wearing orange is on their feet.
Orange or brown, and even some black as he got that alternative as well. And Stroh Center getting ready for this one. They love it, and they're trying to see their season continue and win their first NIVC match since the return of the tournament.
Kidwell will serve, up, over, dug out by Crucis. Nell sets up, blocked at the net. Icabelli, great save. Nikolia Katanic sends it over. Crucis. And that one hits the pin, and the Falcons are gonna win. Point, set, and match. Your Bowling Green Falcons will be playing another game. They will take on TCU tomorrow, but we're gonna see a challenge.
We're gonna see the challenge, and I understand why, but it definitely hit the pin.
Coach Florio.
This is the last Hail Mary attempt by him to keep the match going. This one definitely hit the pin. There's no doubt in my mind. I pointed to it right away. I was surprised that the call wasn't made right away, but the official definitely made the call. This one was definitely hit the pin. This should not be that long of a challenge. This should be point, set, match Falcons. They should walk away with a 25-19 set 4 victory to win 3-1 and move on to face the Horned Frogs of Texas Christian tomorrow. And you just got to be proud of these Falcons. This is a hump I mentioned over the past couple years. They have not been able to win their first round match in the NIVC. And you could just tell based off the smiles, based off the high fives over there by the coaching staff that they are excited that they were able to win this one. And
they reversed the call.
No, they confirm it.
Oh, I thought I heard reverse. The call is confirmed, did hit the net. Bowling Green will take on the TCU Horned Frogs here at the Stroh Center tomorrow. And again, a lot of credit goes out to these Mastodons. They played a really good game tonight, cleaned up the errors they needed to between the first 2 sets, but unfortunately you cannot make mistakes through the first 2 sets and expect to win. So great job there by them. Hate to say that their season has come to an end completely, but if you're a Falcons fan, a lot of rejoicing is going to be coming from you guys. Coach Tomich over there high-fiving her team as the iZiggy Zumbas are going to be coming through here in a moment. Stat leaders from this game, leading the game in kills, was Caitlin Meyer. 18 kills on 47 attempts, hit at a 255 clip. So great job from her. The next closest player was Katie Kidwell with 12 kills on 29 attempts. Leading the Purdue Fort Wayne Mastodons was Katie Crow, had 11 kills on 36 attempts, hitting at 167. Leading the way in assists was Isabel Marciniak of the Falcons with 42 assists on the game. Next closest was Nell at 17. And then in digs, Crucis of the Mastodons won 22, and then Walls had 20. 24 errors by the Falcons, 24 by the Mastodons, 42 total kills by the Mastodons, 53 by the Falcons. Falcons finished at a 197 clip with 9 aces, 7 blocks, and for Purdue hitting at 116, 3 aces and 10 blocks. Overall, great game here by both teams. Again, the Falcons will be playing tomorrow here at the Stroh Center at 7 p.m. against the TCU Horned Frogs. It'll be a great game if you can make it out to it, but if you can't, it will be streaming through YouTube.com through a live stream presented by WBGU, and then it will also be here on Falcon Radio. Donovan and I will be on the call for both sides, so you will be able to hear our lovely voices again.
Well, I don't know about you, but it's definitely my lovely voice there, young guy. All right, that'll just about conclude our broadcast here today. But before we go, we do have to send out a few thank yous. First, to our producer back at the Cooling Center Studios. It is Adam Gall, the program director of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. Thank you, Adam, for taking time out of your day. I know it's a busy week with everybody expecting everything to be due all at once. I'm talking about professors. Thank you so much for taking your time out and doing this. We'd also like to thank the athletic communication staff as well as SID Kyle Edmond for helping this broadcast move along, providing us the broadcast location, open Ethernet port, as well as stats and everything we need for this broadcast to occur. We'd also like to thank the athletic communication staff over at Purdue Fort Wayne for providing us pronunciations, storylines, and updated stats for the Mastodons. We'd like to thank Phil Besked, the faculty advisor of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization, as well as both radio stations, WBGU and Falcon Radio here at Bowling Green State University. We would also like to thank Jim Barnes, the Chief and Technical Director of the radio stations here at BGSU. We'd like to thank our live tweeter, Ryan Vallon, the voice of Falcon Hockey, taking time out of his day as well to come live tweet. He was actually pretty adamant. He was pretty excited. He really wanted to be here. He's like, I want to do something for this game. It was nice to see him. Thank you, Ryan. We'd also like to thank, I know there's people on this. Oh, Jim Faust, the chairman of the journalism department, as well as Dr. Rick Bussell, the chairman of the media productions and studies department, and Dr. Laura Stafford, the chairman of the communications department. This has been a presentation of Bowling Green Athletics. For more news and information about BG Athletics, go to bgsufalcons.com for all news and information, as well as up-to-date schedules, as well as ways to listen tabs, stats, and everything Falcon Athletics. This has also been a presentation of the Bowling Green Radio Sports Organization. For more news and information about BGRSO, go online to bgfalconmedia.com and find us under the Sports tab. You'll find ways to listen, stories, as well as so much more, not just for BGRSO, but as well as all Falcon media. Or you can find BGRSO on social media. It's Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, all with the username @BGRSO. Again, the Falcons take a 25-19 fourth set to win 3-1 over the Mastodons of Purdue Fort Wayne. We'd like to thank you all for listening or watching wherever you may be listening or watching. I'm Donovan Mann, and for Zach Smith, Ryan Vallon, and Adam Gall back at the Cooling Center Studios, roll along, BG. Have a wonderful rest of your day. We'll be right back here, 7 o'clock, first serve, here both on YouTube Live by the WBGU-TV and Falcon Radio.